Start the show!
So we had the good stuff going on here a little bit, and then we had the big breakthrough at the Poinsett Hotel. Most people thought the hotel would never reopen, certainly not the way it did with the big business of the Grand Hotel again. Most people thought it'd be torn down. Most people thought it'd be quality, if it did come back. But there it was back open again. We're about 1999 now, 2000. And because we were now down there and things were beginning to happen down there, downtown Greenville suddenly was now 4 or 5 blocks long. But it allowed us to do something that was even bigger and bolder and also seemed even crazier at the time, which was to reclaim the river. Most people didn't even know we had a river. The kudzu was so thick around behind the Peace Center that sometimes in the summer it would grow together completely over the water and you couldn't see the river. What? It was that thick. And then we had, sort of the ultimate, the uber idea, of course, was to reclaim the waterfall, which was such a remarkable asset, yet most people didn't know we had a waterfall. And the reason was, for some 40 years, a long time, for 40 years, there was a 4-lane highway bridge built on top of the waterfall in 1960. So most people who lived in Greenville all their lives had never seen the waterfall. It's hard to believe that that's the way it was. So we had about a 3-year knockout, drag-out, very high-profile fight over about this idea of taking down the bridge, as people call it, the perfectly good bridge. That's the way people refer to it. And it was a tough proposition, and I saw this in retrospect more than I did when I was living through it. Because basically what we were saying was we're going to spend about $13 million to build a beautiful park around a waterfall you've never seen. Trust us. It did not. And a really great example of the tenor of the times was on the city council, where most people were opposed to this. There's one particular council member who was particularly opposed to it, but he began to have some second thoughts, and he called me up one day, and he said, I want to talk to you, if you don't mind, over lunch, because I have an idea. I've been thinking about this park idea, and maybe there's some virtue to that. Maybe that park would be a good thing. So we sat down, and he said, here's my idea. Instead of removing the bridge, let's move the waterfall. I said, how do you do that? He said, dynamite. And I thought, he left the room, and I remember thinking to myself, this is not going well.
Colonel, look out that window at that giant fire-breathing monster.
Yeah.
You want to shoot bombs and missiles at that perfectly good Godzilla?
Yeah. I want to blow it up with everything we got, sir.
As the mayor of this town, I will not allow it.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to move the city, I'm on board for that. Yes, a perfectly good radioactive spike to God.
Conserve Godzilla! Conserve Godzilla!
I'm an elected politician.
Okay, well, you can't really listen anymore because she got laser fire breath. So,
Yes, she still had a vote. She voted or died. No, she voted and died.
she voted, she didn't really vote.
She voted with her feet, then she got stepped on by a giant foot.
Right. Alright, so we're going to move this down. We need a whole bunch of trucks and some men.
All right, well, most of the men and most of the trucks are dead and are eaten.
Okay, alright. Just saying, blowing it up with bombs sounds like a pretty good idea right now.
You know, you just want to destroy what makes Jersey, Jersey.
All right, for this beauty contest, we don't normally do this, but I just wanted to give one award for most improved. It's Connecticut. Right out last year, she was a horrible mess, had mice running up and down her legs. She had a college hat on, but not a college she went to.
I did not go to UT.
But wow, look at her now. Passable.
There
Take a bow.
Miss
Just walk forward. Just
Jones,
walk forward.
isn't she? Isn't she? Oh, all right, she looks cool. Isn't she passable?
Going up next for the ceremony is a woman who is most disapproved.
Mom, I want to talk to you about something. Well, sure, Jenny. Well, You know, I'm 13 now.
You're practically a little woman, Jenny.
I feel like there are some changes happening in my West End. Did that ever happen to you, Mom?
Honey, changes in a woman's West End are inevitable. At first,
It's purely for function.
first it's just simply a place where there's storage and then things quickly go to hell.
Dad!
Yes, sir?
You know, I'm 13 or 15, somewhere in that range. Some guys are later than others.
14-year-old boy.
I'm just noticing some renovations.
How do you mean, son? What?
I'm just discovering there's a lot of mixed-use utility. Like I saw this area and I was like, well, that's only got one use.
Right.
And then a friend of mine at school,
Yeah.
he had a brochure and a vision. I was noticing that it's a place for work and play.